Hi, it's good to see you guys again. Look at Yakima. Isn't that beautiful outside? It's snowing. We haven't had snow for a while like that. First time, when the big snowfall falls in your area, it's kind of exciting. It looks beautiful outside, so I wanted you to see that. Hey, I'm continuing the Bible in 52 weeks. I hope you can join me. We're on chapter 9. I know I stopped for a while. Oh, I want to get this done. 52 weeks, but I'm going to try to do like 2 in a week or 3 in a week because I've taken so long. If you missed the first 8, they're online. I think it's Mom Talk. I've changed my title of my YouTube so many times, but this last one is Mom Talk, M-O-M space T-A-L-K, Mom Talk. Anyway, so I'm talking today about this. So again, it's called Delay Does Not Mean Denial, and it's the study from Numbers 14, chapter 14 through 16. So yeah, I traveled to North Carolina when I first got married, and then the plane landed midway, and so people were complaining because they had reconnecting flights that they had to catch and they were missing them. I was complaining, and I started complaining after everybody else complained. I was okay with it at first, but then I was just like, shoot, this is taking a long time. I want to get to my honey bunny. And the pilot kept saying, hey, thank you for your patience. We'll get you in the air soon, blah, blah, blah. And so, but you know what we found out later is that he didn't want to fly the airplane through a storm. So he was trying to avoid the storm. And so he had to refuel. And so he was trying to keep us safe. Yeah. He's trying to keep us safe, and we're all complaining. So we found out later. But anyways, so that kind of reminds me of one of the stories in Numbers chapter 14, where the Israelites were going through the wilderness. They were brought out of Egypt and going through the wilderness, headed towards the promised land. You guys remember that story? Well, they actually didn't get there right away. How many years did it take? 40 years. 40 years in the wilderness. Whew. That's a long time. Even though it didn't take, like literally you can get there sooner, but God told them to take the long route, the long way around. One of the reasons is because there was some people, their enemies that were, the Israelites just were not ready to fight these enemies that were in the promised land, waiting for them to kill them, to destroy them. So then that was one reason why. But it was also a purpose. There was also a purpose where God wanted to train them and teach them things, okay? And then there was a lot of naysayers, and there was a lot of promised land people. Are you a promised land person? I want to be, because the mindset was, some of those Israelites, their mind was still in Egypt, okay? They were still like slaves, okay, to Egypt. They had that slave mentality, and God wanted to change their mindset to a more of a promised land people where they're going to survive and they're going to thrive. So you know what happened, right? All the naysayers died off in 40 years, and then all the promised land people that were ready continued on to the promised land. So sometimes we get frustrated because we think that we're supposed to be ahead or further on than we are in life. Like for instance, my husband and I, we both grew up in church, and our parents were ministers, pastors of churches. And I, in my mind, thought that by now we would be either ministers or pastors, or, working diligently in the church in that manner like our parents did. But we haven't. And so that's been a little frustrating. But I think it's almost like going through the wilderness, like God is molding us, and I want to be a promised land person. I want that promise that God has for me. So we have to be patient in God's timing, in His timing. We'll be ready with whatever He has for us. And sometimes we think we're ready, but we're not. So God knows, and He's taken us through the wilderness. He's given us issues and problems that we need to resolve, and we need to have patience, endurance, and perseverance, and we need to love others, and maybe we need to learn those life lessons before God gives us a work for Him, to work for Him. So that's one thing that I kind of took away from the study. The other thing is, how have I dealt with it? I haven't dealt with it very well. I've complained a lot, especially to my husband, poor thing. But it's also made me be a follower instead of a leader. You know, you have to be a follower before you become a leader, and so you learn a lot through that. You learn, again, you learn endurance, you learn patience, you learn how to take instruction, you learn to have a servant's heart. That's what I want to say. And you need to have a servant's heart in order to you know, you have to serve others, not just, you know, just want whatever. It's a servant's heart that we need in order to serve others. And that's what I've taken away from this lesson. I hope it's helpful to you. 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes. So God bless you. Thank you.